Good afternoon. We are continuing with Unit 1 of HR in Global Practices. The topic for today is Challenges and Emerging Issues in IHRM. Because HR has to be done at the international level by MNCs, there are several limitations or challenges which are experienced by these MNCs. Let us see these challenges. When the business is done in different countries, the ethics and the CSR, that is the corporate social responsibilities, are different in different countries. What may be considered ethical in India may not be ethical in some other country, right? For example, bribing. In India, bribing is something which is a done thing. मतलब वो तो करना ही पड़ेगा, sort of. But in other countries, it may be taken in a very, offensive way, or it may be a crime. It is a crime, of course, but the culture in India is slightly different. So bribery is one issue which becomes a limitation or challenge when you talk about global expansion of your business. Then code of conduct for MNCs may be different in different countries. Many governments consider MNCs as exploiters of employees, and they frame very strict laws, legislations for them. Some governments consider MNCs as helping hand in their nation's development, so they welcome the MNCs. So every country has its own code of conduct or different policies for the MNCs. Staffing policy, that is the HR policy of every country, is different. How you're going to recruit, how you're going to select, how you're going to train your employees, how you're going to promote the employees. Laws are different in different countries. So staffing policy is different in different countries. And of course, there are lots of cultural differences amongst employees, right? So if you are working at the global level, you will have to work with different employees from different cultures, from different religions, from different speaking different languages. So as the HR manager, it becomes a big challenge for you to understand the cultural differences and to see that everybody works in harmony with each other. Like for example, in this picture, this man and woman, they are meeting for the first time maybe, so he is bowing down and she's just trying to shake hands, because in some cultures shaking hand is a very polite way of meeting someone new, whereas in some cultures direct physical contact is not considered ideal. So that is because of the cultural difference. This is right, that is wrong, this is wrong, ऐसा नहीं बोल रही हूँ मैं, but the cultural difference between these two. Okay, so these are some of the difficulties or challenges or limitations you can say for IHR. Now we go to a very interesting topic. Now if you want to be a global manager, अगर आपको global manager बनना है, तो फिर आपके अंदर कौन सा qualities होना ज़रूरी है? हाँ, see, you are an HR manager. As an HR manager, you should have lots of qualities. You should have good communication skills. You should be adaptable. You should understand the employee's point of view and so on. तो ये characteristics या ये features तो ज़रूरी है ही. But along with that, there need to be some additional qualities of a global manager. Later on, we will just see a small video. Let us list out the qualities of a global manager. He or she should have great vision. आगे क्या होगा या क्या कहाँ पे पहुँचना है, ये vision होना चाहिए. Team builder, because you are going to work with lots of people together. So the leader should be, or the global manager should be a team builder, should be willing to learn as well as fail. Every time you may not succeed, you may be very successful at the national level as a manager, but at the global level you may fail. So you should be willing to fail, willing to learn, open-minded, confident, self-aware, communication skill, ability to relate with others, adaptability, social intelligence, able to relate properly with others and adjust with others, that is social intelligence. Cultural agility, it means adaptable with different cultures. If you are going in a foreign country, you should quickly adapt to the methods over there, the culture over there, the customs over there. Should have organizational awareness, should be influential and should have high emotional intelligence. This is also very interesting topic. Those who do not have topics for research, you can go for this emotional intelligence in a HR manager. That should be very high in case of a global manager. HR manager के पास तो emotional intelligence होना ही चाहिए, but global HR manager है तो बहुत high emotional intelligence होना चाहिए. In a nutshell, I will explain what is this emotional intelligence. It is slightly different from IQ. You heard about IQ, intelligence quotient. So now we are talking about EQ, emotional quotient. It is the ability to understand your own self, to manage your own self, as well as to understand others and manage others. That is called as emotional intelligence. In easy language, it is the ability to work comfortably with others. दूसरों के साथ अच्छे से आप काम कर सको, उसको बोलते हैं emotional intelligence. So these are some of the characteristics or skills of a global manager. Let us go further. The next topic which we have to study today is components of IHRM. Now, what are the components of IHRM? इसमें सबसे important है cross cultural management. We are going to study this in detail in the next few slides. Then you have comparative HRM. Comparison between the HR of two different countries, that is called as comparative HRM. And IHRM. IHRM is what we are studying till now, that is International Human Resource Management. उसके अप्रोचेस जैसे कि रिजियोसेंट्रिक, जियोसेंट्रिक, पॉलीसेंट्रिक वगैरह वगैरह. सो दिस वी हैव ऑलरेडी डन. ये पार्ट हमारा हो चुका है. वी हैव टू डू दीज टू पार्ट्स व्हिच आई एम गोइंग टू डू जस्ट नाउ. सो क्रॉस कल्चरल मैनेजमेंट, comparative HRM and IHRM. These are the three components of IHRM. तो उसके अंदर हम सबसे पहले देखेंगे cross cultural management, or it is called CCM. Now what is this CCM? CCM मतलब when people from different countries work together, these employees belong to different cultures. That is called as cross culture, and how to manage them becomes a big challenge. So that is why cross-cultural management becomes very important. CCM describes the OB. OB means organizational behavior within countries and cultures. It compares the OB across countries and cultures and seeks to understand how to improve the interaction. Through CCM, the manager as well as the employees will learn to improve interaction between whom? Co-workers, managers, executives, clients. See, आपके client भी international हो सकते हैं, तो उनके साथ कैसे deal करना, suppliers and alliance partners. Later on, we will view this video. Cross-cultural management, let us see it in a little detail. It has been defined. As you all know, if the definition is very big, I always break it down into small parts. So that's what I have done over here. Cross-cultural management is defined as achievement of productive diversity. You have a diverse workforce. That means people from different countries, people from different, speaking different languages, following different cultures. So that is called as diversity. So CCM is achievement of productive diversity. Different people working together, but all of them are productive. Okay. See, if you sometimes from TYA और TYB को हम कभी कभी साथ में बिठाते हैं, तभी भी मच होता है. You are not able to adjust with each other. Right? Sometimes from one class you are told कि अभी आपको दूसरी क्लास में बैठना है, क्लासरूम भी चेंज किया तो भी आप कंफर्टेबल नहीं होते हो. So just imagine when people from different countries are going to work together, how much of challenging it will be for the HR manager. So CCM means achievement of productive diversity, intercultural effectiveness and cultural synergy in the performance of management across cultures through. See, you are going to maintain harmony among people. How? Through processes including successful cultural adaptation and cross-cultural social engagement. This is what the HR manager has to do. Cultural adaptation. He has to teach or train his employees for adapting to each other, and cross-cultural social engagement and skills including leadership of cross-cultural teams and resolution of culturally related value dilemmas. Two different employees from different countries following different cultures may have different set of values altogether. जैसे पहले वाले पिक्चर में हमने देखा someone who is meeting first time may shake hands and someone may just bow down and not touch physically, right? So if there are such a certain value dilemmas, dilemma matlab confusions, then how to resolve them, that comes under cross cultural management. What are the features of CCM? क्रॉस कल्चरल जो मैनेजमेंट है वो कैसे हेल्प करता है, या उसका यूज क्या है, या उसका इम्पोर्टेंस क्या है, या उसके फीचर्स क्या है. It describes the OB within countries and cultures, helping to improve the interaction of company, workers, managers, executives, partners, etc. तो different people who are coming together, उनको किस तरह से मैनेज करना, ये हमको क्रॉस कल्चरल मैनेजमेंट से पता चलता है. It impacts the behavior of employees. When different employees come together, so their behavior is also affected by proper cross-cultural management. It helps managers to cope with employees. अलग अलग एम्प्लॉयज़ है तो उनको उनके साथ डील कैसे करना है वो मैनेजर को समझ में आता है. इट फॉर्म्स अ बेसिस फॉर डेवलपिंग इंटरकल्चरल ट्रेनिंग मेजर्स, किस तरह का इनको ट्रेनिंग दिया जाए वो समझ में आता है. Helps to decide which incentive system is more effective. In different cultures, different incentives may be used. कहीं पे financial, कहीं पे non-financial. Even in non-financial, sometimes praise may be important for some cultures. For some, getting some extra leaves may be important. तो ये सब कैसे decide होगा, ये CCM से आपको easily पता चल जाएगा. Helps a manager proactive in solving problems by introducing standard HRM practices. All over the world, if you have business, then it will be very difficult for you to have different practices in different countries. So for a manager, the best solution is to have some standard practice which is followed by every subsidiary of yours in each of the different countries. Now we come to the second component, that is comparative HR. Now what do you mean by comparative HR? I mean, मतलब तो टाइटल से ही आपको समझ में आ जाएगा. HR एक्टिविटीज जो इंडिया में फॉलो होते हैं वो, और HR एक्टिविटीज जो यूएस में फॉलो होते हैं वो. इफ you make a comparison between these two, that is called as comparative HRM. So it is a systematic investigation of HRM practices in 2 or more countries. Why are you doing this? To increase knowledge and understanding that has analytical rather than descriptive implication. So when you look at the various HR practices of different countries, you understand whether what you are doing is correct or not. Now let us see the difference between IHRM and comparative HR. Comparative HRM अभी हमने last slide में देखा, you are comparing the HRM of 2 countries. Whereas IHRM में क्या करते हो आप इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे HR एक्टिविटीज को देख रहे हो. दैट इज योर ओन कंपनीज HR इश्यूज एट द इंटरनेशनल लेवल. यहाँ पे डिफरेंट कंट्रीज के HR practices in different companies you are comparing. Okay, this is less complex. Comparing is very easy. 2 चीज सामने आपके रखे उसको कंपेयर करना है. बट आपका खुद का HR आपको चलाना है इंटरनेशनली, दैट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट और कॉम्प्लेक्स. तो यहाँ पे एम्फेसिस क्या होगा? ऑन कंपेयरिंग पॉलिसीज. और यहाँ पे होगा एम्फेसिस ऑन MNC's एबिलिटीज. आपका जो MNC है, कंपनी है, उसके एबिलिटी के ऊपर आपका फोकस होगा. Why do you need to study IHRM and comparative HRM? Efficient management of HR from different countries. अगर आप ऑब्जर्व करोगे डिफरेंट कंट्रीज के HR एक्टिविटीज को, तो आपको समझ में आएगा कि which is the best one which can be used by you. So it helps in efficient management of your HR. Composition of workforce is becoming more diverse. If you look at the business scenario, the business environment, global business environment, you will very well understand कि हर एक कंपनी के जो एम्प्लॉयज़ हैं ना, वो एक ही कल्चर के नहीं है. दे आर फ्रॉम डिफरेंट कल्चर. स्पेशली in developing countries like India, you have MNCs where you may have the chairman and the CEO who is an American. Then you may have departmental heads who are from say European countries, and then under them you may have employees who are Indian. So इस तरह का अगर composition है तो फिर you need to study IHRM and comparative HRM very very thoroughly and deeply. More companies are dependent on managers from different countries. That is why also you need to study this. And there is free movement of labor between countries and continents. For example, अभी European Union हुआ है, जहाँ पे all European countries, they freely allow their employees to travel from one place to another. Now UK has decided to not to be a part of this EU. Earlier it was a part of it, now it is not, right? But बाकी के जो भी European countries है उसके अंदर labor can move very freely between the countries. जैसे अभी if I want to go and work in US, I will need proper permissions, government regulations are there, visas वगैरह. तो यहाँ पे क्या है यूरोपियन यूनियन में they don't have to take any permission. It's just like मैं यहाँ पे काम करूँ या फिर चेन्नई में जाके काम करूँ या फिर in any other state in India I can work without any restrictions. So अभी क्या हुआ है between countries also there is free movement of labor. So that is why we need to study comparative HRM more in detail. Now the third component of IHRM, that is IHRM only. So ये हमने already पढ़ लिया है शुरू से. We are just looking at what is IHRM. It is an interplay among three dimensions, that is HR activity, types of employees and countries of operation. Types of employees यानी PCN, TCN, we learned all that, HCN वगैरह वगैरह. Emphasis is on the multinational company's ability to attract, develop and deploy talented employees in multinational settings. You would like the best people to work for you, whether they belong to your country or not, they belong to your culture or not, they belong to your geographical location or not. You want them to be a part of your organization. You want to attract the best people. IHRM processes consist of same activities as domestic HRM, जैसे कि recruitment, selection, promotion, training, development, exit interview, compensation, motivation, leadership. जो हमने पढ़ा है HRM में same चीज, but it is applied in the international context. Okay, so this is what we have to learn in this particular part of the syllabus, that is components of IHRM. ठीक है? I hope all of you are clear with this.